when I say Rams, pretty disappointing season last year. What are your expectations going into this season? And do you think Sean McVay and Stafford can reignite that flame?
I think that they can reignite it to an extent. So the Rams' expectations, they lost a lot of players. They lost Jalen Ramsey. Um, Everyone's a year older. Aaron Donald contemplated retirement in the offseason. Matt Stafford's elbow, that's a question mark. My question with them is their running game, their receivers outside of Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee, and their defense. It's going to be a lot different here. They seem like they're in a bit of a transition. My expectations for them is that at the end of the season, they're a fringe seventh seed because of the context of the NFC. So, do I think they make the playoffs? No, but I think that at the end of the season, they could compete for the seventh seed.
They could compete for the second seed. Okay.
Seventh, not the second seed.
Not the second seed. And then running backs pretty thin at that position as well. Do you think they address that in the draft, or do you think this is going to be no running games, Cooper Cup or bust all year?
I mean, it's banking on Cam Akers, who we've been hearing about since he was drafted, about him being the next Todd Gurley. Well, he has done absolutely nothing. He was a complete waste of time last year. Now this is his year. I mean, their offensive line, they made some adjustments in the draft, but I think they should finish third.
Do you think they should finish third? Okay. And then team they'll be competing probably for the second or first spot in the division. We start out on the road in Seattle at 425.
So this is in Seattle, you said?
In Seattle, yeah.
Okay. So Seattle, they're coming in with a lot of momentum. They had a great season last year, made the playoffs. I think that they're going to come out with a lot to prove. They go out, get a win against their division rival. More than likely, they'll split against Seattle. They usually do. So give me the Seahawks to take game one and start the season hot.
Okay. Starting the season hot in Seattle, and then losing that game, we go back home, and then we're playing another division rival in the San Francisco 49ers.
This is a game where I think they can win. Given the situation with the 49ers, with the quarterback controversy, I think Sean McVay can come up with a plan to stop Sam Darnold. Always a close game, but I feel like Sean McVay usually has his number.
Okay. And then so we start out the season 1-1, and then season 3 gets a little bit tougher, going on the road on Monday Night Football, home at ESPN. Then we're going to Cincinnati to face Joey B and the boys.
I don't think Stetson Bennett starts yet, so give me the Bengals to win that game. Bengals will be starting to get things together, and they just have a much better roster.
Okay. And then staying on the road, second week in a row, going to Indianapolis to take on potentially the Gardner Minshew-led Colts. Had a tough game in Stafford's first year until Carson Wentz sprained both of his ankles at the same time. What are your thoughts this time around in Indy?
My thing is with the Colts is I don't know if anybody can stop Cooper Kupp on that team because their corners are pretty poor now that they lost Stephon Gilmore. And I think it'll be a dogfight. I feel like it's going to be similar to like what a Falcons and Panthers game looked like last year. So I'll take the Rams to win that game.
Okay. Not bad. So we're 2-2 in the first quarter of the year. Stetson Bennett still hasn't played yet, so still waiting for our MVP to arrive. And then we have a 3-game homestand here in October, starting out with Philadelphia.
I'm not going to be crazy here. I don't think they beat the Eagles. The Eagles have so much talent on every side of the ball. Rams, on the other hand, do not. So easy choice.
And then playing the worst team in the league. Don't even have to tell you what team it is. You already know.
Win.
Win. Okay.
Win for sure.
You guys can guess what team that is, by the way.
You'll know. Check out the Cardinals preview.
You should know. Hey, you just gave it away. And then we are at home again, 3-game homestand. This is a tough one. Another team from Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh, gritty game. I think defensively, the Steelers can probably shut them down. Basically, you can shut down Cooper Kupp, you can shut down the Rams offense. And so I will take the Steelers in that game.
Okay. So we are 3-4 now in week 7. And then we head on the road to Dallas in a 2-game road trip.
I'm going to give the Cowboys some respect here. I'll pick the Cowboys to win that game. What week are we in now? Week 10?
Week 8, and
Okay.
we are currently 3-5 coming out of Q2. And then we are heading on the road November. This would be a good time for Stetson Bennett to play. See Stetson Bennett versus Jordan Love
Jordan Love. I
in
actually am
Lambeau.
going to pick the Packers to win that game because I feel like as a team at this point, Jordan Love maybe starts to get into rhythm. I can see the Rams kind of struggling down the stretch. And then as it gets closer and there's more meaningless football, that's when they can play upset ball.
Okay. And then we have our bye in week 10 after a tough road stand. Then we are back at it at home versus Seattle.
Seattle, I told them that they were going to split. So I think this is a game, division rivalry. Typically, they usually split. Give me the Rams to win that game.
Okay, so we're now 4-6, and then going to Glendale, Arizona to face the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I don't think the Cardinals are going to win many games. So I will take, and plus the Rams own the Cardinals. You saw what happened in that playoff game. It's hard for me to pick the Cardinals to beat the Rams. So Rams win this game.
Okay, and then so we're 5-6 then, and then week 13, we are at home versus Cleveland.
I think this is a game they can win. At this point, I'd be worried about their injuries. They're 5-6. Maybe this is when you start to see Stetson come into the game. And for Cleveland, Cleveland's a team that should win this game, but this is the same team that always has a great roster the last couple of years, but never always pieces it together. Rams, I think there's a coaching mismatch here. I'd give Sean McVay the edge over Kevin Stefanski. So I'll take them to win, even though roster-wise, they should lose that game.
Okay, so we are 6-6. Then we're going on the road to Baltimore. You already picked the Rams to win this game.
This is the Stetson Bennett coming out party at this point. You have this team on the other side of the ball who have such a better defense, such a better offense, but at the same time,
Maybe.
they have somebody who they don't have any tape on. They haven't seen him, in his 15 years he spent at Georgia. Stetson Bennett comes in, gets a win, shocks the world, and suddenly 7-6 Rams.
7-6 for Rams. Okay, you said they'd be competing for the 7th seed, and that's fine because we're going back home for a 2-game homestand, facing off against two pretty mediocre teams, the Commanders. Talk about a party for Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, I'll take the Commanders to win. I mean, I'm sorry, the Rams to win this game. Again, I think there's a coaching mismatch here. Teams that are both kind of piecing things together. I'll give them a win there.
Give them a win there. Okay. And then we are staying at home versus Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints.
Give me some respect to the Saints. I think that this is a team. We're going to go over the NFC South next week, but I think that the Saints should be kind of in the same mix as the Rams, but I do think they have a better roster, a little bit more upside. But Derek Carr, Michael Thomas, give me the win there. For the
Okay.
Saints.
So we are 8-7. Now we have a 2-game road trip, but don't be worried because the first game on the road is in New York versus the football giants and arguably the worst quarterback in the league if you look at his contract.
Wow. I have to pick between two evils. The evils of LA and the evils of Daniel Jones. You know what? Brian Dable won a lot of games he shouldn't have won last year. And I feel like this could be a game they squeak out, believe it or not. I'm actually going to pick the Giants to win this game because of the fact, close game, Rams riding high, in a better position than they expected it to be. Give me the Giants to win.
Okay. And then they're going on the road to Sean McVay's daddy in San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan facing off against the San Francisco 49ers.
And this is when I think the 49ers break their hearts. And so I expected them to split with the 49ers and Seahawks. And I think in this case, again, 49ers win this game. Rams are 8-9.